Not only did labor unions respond to trusts and monopolies, but there were also political movements to change the face of America as it was known at the time. One of those common movements, and one of the first movements, was populism, and that is what this presentation will discuss. First, there is rapid Western settlement during and following the Civil War. When Republicans came to power after Lincoln's election as president in 1860, efforts were made to settle the West. The Homestead and Morrill Acts were both passed in 1862. The Homestead Act promised any citizen or immigrant intending to become a citizen that they could have 160 acres of federal land by agreeing to cultivate the land for at least 5 years. So even the poor could now get land. And the Morrill Act said that tracts of land could be given to colleges as long as they agreed to teach farmers how to increase crop yields. These schools came to be known as a land-grant college. One might think that cheap land, or even free land, would have made it easy for a poor person to make it in life. However, operating a farm is still a very large upfront cost. Machinery, buildings, seed, livestock, all these things need to be purchased before a farm can even get off the ground. Increased mechanization caused farm production to skyrocket, and it also caused prices to plummet. So the ability to make money, especially after investing in expensive machinery, decreased significantly. Climbing costs, especially rail rates and falling prices, led farmers to accumulate crushing debts. And as debt climbed, more and more farms were being foreclosed on by banks. So this leads particularly farmers to be looking for some kind of change that could save them. First, you have the Grange Movement. Farmers begin to band together in various ways to improve business. First, they start cooperatives. These are organizations funded by many farmers that pooled resources to battle high costs. A couple of examples. One is a cooperative could operate their own grain elevators rather than renting from a railroad company. Another is that a cooperative could hire lawyers and push the courts and lawmakers to require fair rates by law, and this actually worked. The Interstate Commerce Act in 1887 required rail rates to be advertised in advance and no longer allowed for long and short haul distinctions. Those were made illegal. Farmers frustrated and the Grange Movement not working turned to the Populist Party. The 1892 party platform during the presidential election, in which William Jennings Bryan ran for president, included a graduated income tax, meaning that taxes on the incomes of rich people would be higher than the taxes of people making lesser incomes. So the higher your income got, the higher the tax rate got. Also, to establish saving banks and U.S. post offices run by the government. Free coinage of silver to increase the money supply and help farmers find more access to money. Government ownership and operation of telephone and telegraph companies. Direct election of senators by the people rather than by state legislatures. In 1892, senators were chosen by state legislatures. Now, state legislatures were elected by the people, but they would then turn around and appoint federal senators. The Populist Party wanted direct election of senators so that the people would have more influence. A maximum 8-hour workday for all factory workers. State laws allowing for initiatives, which is a citizen-proposed law or regulation, and referendums, which is citizens voting directly on proposed laws. After two major presidential election defeats in 1892 and 1896, coupled with improving farm prices, led to the breakup of the Populist Party, with farmers being their biggest supporters and life for farmers improving in the 1890s. The Populist Party faded away. Some of these progressive ideas stick, however. Two ideas that stuck with even the two main parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, were one, the graduated income tax, which became the 16th Amendment in 1913, and secondly, the direct election of senators, which became the 17th Amendment in 1913. You see in the pictures here William Jennings Bryan, who was the populist presidential candidate in both 1892 and 1896. And then on the right, Democratic President Woodrow Wilson, who served 2 terms from 1913 to 1921. And it was Wilson who encouraged Congress to pass these 2 amendments. This is the end of the presentation. Please make sure that you go and take the online quiz. Use your notes. If you've taken good notes and you use them while you take the quiz, there's really no reason why you can't get a perfect score. Thank you. See you in class.